Welcome back, adventurers, welcome back, explorers, and welcome back to the vlog. Welcome to another beautiful day in the great state of Arizona, where we are on Castle Hot Springs Road Trail. I've brought my trusty sidekick, Amanda, and we are once again in my 1997 Jeep Wrangler TJ. Today we're going to be giving some tips for intermediate off-roaders. An intermediate off-roader is someone who's probably hit a couple trails, probably went around on a dirt road or two, maybe did some mudding, but these are some things you just want to consider while you're going out to those trails. So one thing you can do to have your Jeep ready for a trail, which requires a little bit of rock climbing, a little bit more traction, to give yourself that wider footprint, you want to air down your tire a little bit. There's a lot of controversy over what PSI, what pressure you should run. 15 PSI sounds pretty safe to me. Some people say do 12, some people say do 8. But obviously you want to make sure you carry an air compressor so you can air back up when you get on the freeway. So we got a couple options of tire pressure monitors. Got about 25 PSI over here. We're going to drop it down to about 15. I'm not very patient. All right, we're going to about 20 PSI because I don't feel like sitting here airing it all the way down. But I'm gonna do that to all 4 tires. Having that flatter tire is giving you a wider footprint, and it's letting you tire flex over the rocks, which makes it a little bit more comfortable to ride on. And when you're doing trails, when you're just going through the dirt, it just makes it that much better to just have that little bit of cushion. It's like extra suspension on your tire, the first part that touches the ground. Another thing that's really important when going on trips, when you go trail riding, is to make sure you have a spotter.
Don't go any further, there's a rock you're gonna hit on the passenger tire. Bumper.
Make sure you have someone to watch you go up and down the hills, watch your bumpers, watch your fenders, watch your sliders. You don't want unnecessary body damage. Body damage is bound to happen, but you don't want to do it for nothing. And you don't want to do it if you can prevent it. So having someone just out there to point you in the right direction, go driver's side, go passenger side, just to make sure you're on the right line. So one thing you definitely want to keep an eye open for when you're going out on the trails is the weather. So right now, some angles looks kind of sunny, some angles look kind of cloudy. It looks like it's gonna rain. Make sure you're ready for the rain. Make sure you got a shovel. Make sure you got some wood. Make sure you got rocks around you, so if you were to get stuck in the mud, you can find your way out. So weather can have a huge impact from being a nice, easy, smooth dirt trail to a pretty muddy trail. Or look out for the muddy trails if you want to get muddy. So definitely just check the weather before leaving. Something a lot of people don't do when they go out onto the trails is just look underneath. Do a quick walk around and look underneath your rig to make sure everything looks normal, nothing's broken. Something you want to do is just take a quick walk around. Look at your shocks, your springs, make sure everything's seated properly. Look at your hubs, control arms, make sure everything's nice and tight. Drive shaft. If you have a greasable drive shaft, you might have a greasable joint right there on that little nipple on the end of your drive shaft. Make sure you got no leaks. The last thing you want to do is leak out all your oil on the trail. When you hear rattling sounds, you want to at least be able to suspect what it might be. Because if you have a rattly shock, big deal, your springs will take care of it. It's going to ruin the ride quality a little bit, but you're not going to break down on your way home. You do want to get that replaced before you go on a trail. And the last thing to consider while you're going out on a trail is just to carry some spare parts. One thing is a must, obviously, a spare tire. Tires pop all the time. You get rock rash on it. They don't really pop, but they start leaking air, and it's just a pain to be filling up your tire every, 300 yards, every 10 minutes. So besides an air compressor, obviously keeping a spare tire, maybe keep some extra drive shafts if you have a nice small rear drive shaft like Jeeps do. Maybe some lower control arms, because those easily get striped up or bumped. Lug nuts, wheel stud. Also doesn't hurt to keep some tools, extra batteries just in case you need it or you find someone on the trail that needs it. Jumper cables, tow straps. It's always better to be over prepared than under prepared. All right guys, that's it for tips for off-roaders on the intermediate level. If you guys have anything else you want to add, go ahead and comment below. Otherwise, we're out of here.